Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy and I'm here to read you another story. And I've got a fun birthday book for you tonight. Yep, this book is called Happy Birthday, Goodnight. Happy Birthday, Good Night. Now, this isn't like good night. No, this is a good night. He's kind of like a soldier. And in this book, he has some dragon friends that are going to do something special for somebody on their birthday. But they need his help. I wonder what he can help the dragons with. And I wonder whose birthday it is. We're going to have to get into this book and find out. Are you ready to get into this birthday book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. Happy Birthday, Good Night, written by Shelly Moore Thomas, pictures by Jennifer Pleckus. The sun was rising over the deep, dark forest. Inside a cozy cave, there lived 3 little dragons. They were talking with their friend, the Good Night. Look at those cute little dragons. "We have a problem," said the first dragon. "We need to get a birthday gift," said the second dragon. "For someone very special," said the third dragon. "But we don't have any money. What can we do?" asked all 3 dragons. The Good Night thought and thought. "Aha," he said. "Methinks I know." I wonder what he thinks. "The most special gifts do not come from a store. They come from our hearts and our hands, nothing more," said the Good Night. "What does that mean?" asked all 3 dragons. "The best gifts are the ones we make ourselves," said the Good Night. "Will you please help us?" "Please," asked the dragons. The Good Night did not know what to think. But he was a good knight. "Come with me," he said. The Good Night hitched up the cart. The dragons got in. He jumped on his horse. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop. They went through the deep, dark forest to the Good Night's crumbly-tumbly tower. He's taking them to his house. "We will make a cake," said the Good Night. "Everybody loves cake." In the Good Night's kitchen, the work began. The dragons made a double-layer, double chocolate, double swirl cake with sparkly sprinkles on top. At least they tried to. But the 3 little dragons in one little kitchen can make one big mess. "I don't believe this," said the Good Night. There was flour on the ceiling, sugar on the chairs, cake batter on the floor, and sprinkles everywhere. Oh, they tried so hard, but they made such a mess. "This is a wreck," cried the Good Night. He got the clean-up buckets and soapy soap spuds. He got the brooms and brushes. The dragons scrubbed the ceiling, scrubby, scrub, scrub. The dragons swept the floor, swish, swish, swish. They even washed the seats of the chairs, brusha, 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 and they cleaned until the kitchen was CLEAN, clean. They did a really good job. "We still have a problem," said the dragons. "We still don't have a birthday gift for someone very special." And they began to cry drippy, droppy dragon tears. The Good Night did not know what to think, but he was a good knight, so he came up with a new idea. "Don't cry, good dragons," said the Good Night. "We will make a birthday card. Everybody loves birthday cards." Well, that's true, and a really good idea. In the Good Night's study, the work began. The little dragons made a giant pop-up birthday card with shimmery, glimmery rainbows. At least they tried to. But 3 little dragons in one little study can make one big mess. Oh no, not again. "I don't believe this," cried the Good Night. There was paint on the ceiling, glue on the chairs, paper on the floor, and glitter everywhere. And the pop-up card was glued shut. "This is a ruin," cried the Good Night. He got the clean-up buckets and soapy soap suds. He got the brooms and brushes. Again. The dragons scrubbed the ceiling, scrubby, scrubby, scrubby. The dragons swept the floor, swish, swish, swish. They even washed the seats of the chairs, Brusha, 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 brusha. They cleaned until the study was C-L-E-A-N, clean. Good job, little dragons. You still don't have a birthday gift for someone very special, said the dragons, and they began to cry drippy, droppy dragon tears. The Goodnight did not know what to think, but he was a good knight, and he got another good idea. We will put on a magic show. Everybody loves magic, he said. In the Goodnight's sitting room, the work began. The dragons planned a flashy, splashy magic show with balloon animals, bright-colored streamers, and birds that flew away. At least they tried to. Oh, no. But the three little dragons in one little sitting room could make one big mess. I don't believe this, cried the Goodnight. There were feathers on the ceiling, streamers on the chairs, bits of paper on the floor, and popped balloons everywhere. This is a disaster, he cried. He got the clean-up buckets and soapy soap suds. He got the brooms and brushes again. The dragon scrubbed the ceiling. Scrubby, scrubby, scrubby. The dragon swept the floor. Swish, swish, swish. They even washed the seats of the chairs. Brusha, 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 brusha. They cleaned until the sitting room was C-L-E-A-N, clean. Good job, little dragons. The Goodnight sat down at his little kitchen table. It was very late. He was very tired. The clock struck midnight. Oh, no, cried the little dragons. Now it is too late. The dragons began to cry drippy, droppy dragon tears. Today was your birthday. We wanted the birthday gift for you. Now it's too late, said the dragons. Oh, they were doing it all for the Goodnight. The Goodnight looked at his calendar. Yes, indeed, it was his birthday. He began to smile. Then he giggled and laughed. You have given me the best gift there is, he said. The dragons did not know what to think. We did not make a cake, or a card, or a magic show. We only made big, fat messes, they said. You made something else. You made me laugh, said the Goodnight. The gift of laughter is the best gift there is. The dragons thought of the big, fat messes. Look at all those messes. They began to smile. They giggled and laughed. They laughed until the drippy, droppy dragon tears were all gone. Oh, look at how happy they are. Yes, little dragons, I will never forget this day, said the Goodnight. Then the Goodnight and the three little dragons ate the burnt cake. The Goodnight opened his sticky, gluey card. The dragons did a magic trick. Then the dragons began to sing, Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Goodnight. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, good dragons, said the Goodnight. It was a good birthday. It was his birthday. It was the knight's birthday. And he was so nice and so good to the dragons. He kept helping them and they kept making a mess. And then he helped them and he made a mess. But he just kept helping them. And he didn't even know that they were making special things for his birthday, which made him happy and made him laugh and made me really, really happy. I love when friends do things for each other. And the dragons definitely did nice things for the Goodnight. This was a good book. I hope that you learned a lesson from that book. I hope you learned that it's always good to be nice to people and to do things for your friends. They sure did something special for him, and you need to remember that, especially if it's like your mom or dad, and if their birthday's coming up. You want to do special things for them. You don't have to go buy something. You just have to do something. Maybe make a card or help Grandma cook them a cake. There's so many things you can do to show them how much you love them. And tonight, you can show them by getting right into bed. I need all of my little dragons to get under those covers, get cuddled up, curled up, ready for a really good night's sleep. And tomorrow, whatever you're doing with your mom and dad, Obey and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy. I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.